There is likely over 1 million acres of forage millets harvested in the United States each year. Have you ever driven by a field of hay and wondered, what is it? Millet? If so, what kind? What animals will feed on it? Beef or dairy cows, fat cattle, bulls, bison, maybe horses? This is Gary Whitgriff, an international millet researcher and author of 2 books on millet. I will give you tips on harvesting pearl and foxtail millets for hay. Recently, I visited a ranch harvesting pearl and foxtail millets strictly for forage. On this arid high plains of western South Dakota, it lies about 3,000 foot elevation, or 900 meters, above sea level. This family cattle ranch of hills and flat country has hayfields that border the Cheyenne River, which originates in Wyoming and meanders across South Dakota. This ranch receives about 10 inches, that's 250 millimeters, of precipitation during the millet growing season, planted usually in May and harvested in September. It is west of the Badlands National Park, a 244,000 acre preserve of mostly barren geological features. This family ranch annually plants mostly dryland pearl and foxtail millets. They do plant irrigated pearl millet as a second crop after spring barley cut for forage.
And they roll windrows to dry for baling.
You can tell these 2 windrows are rolled together, 8-foot windrows into a 16-foot windrow to bale. Producing any crop with limited and sporadic rainfall is risky. To conserve limited moisture and preserve organic matter, and to minimize wind and water erosion, this ranch never tills the ground. High-quality forage production is their goal. This field was planted back to pearl millet after the wheat was harvested, and the goal is to cut it from hay if they get enough rains in the fall, but if not, by the 1st of October, just probably turn the cattle into it. Millet seeding rates on this ranch range from about 12 to 14 pounds per acre, or say 12 kilograms a hectare, which is about half the university recommended seeding rate. Due to limited and unpredictable moisture, corn silage and grain is also planted at low rates, about 8,500 seeds per acre. Obviously, areas getting more summer moisture can plant 15 to 30 pounds per acre, say 34 kilograms a hectare. If planted thin, millets like foxtail, pearl, and proso will tiller profusely after each rainfall. Pearl millet generally yields more tons per acre, but foxtail is more drought hardy and will generally produce more harvestable hay each year if extremely dry conditions persist. This field of pearl millet stood about 2.5 foot tall, that's under a meter, and was yielding about 1.8 tons per acre. Pearl millet tolerates more soil salts. Spring barley, cut for hay, was also followed by double crop irrigated pearl. These 2 crops produced about 9 tons per acre under irrigation on this ranch. Foxtail millet should be cut before seeds reach physiological maturity. Foxtail and pearl millet bales are often chopped and mixed with prairie hay, barley, wheat, Sudan grass, and maybe corn silage before feeding to beef cows or calves. More on millet at relatingtoancients.com. Search the internet, enter Whitgriff Millet.